All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Maybe about an hour ago, I just got through watching this movie called The Book of Daniel, right? Which was a movie obviously about the prophet Daniel. And there was some things in the movie that was off. For example, they said in the movie that Daniel was from the tribe of Benjamin, right? But I'm just going to quickly, and the movie that I watched was on, it was on Amazon Prime, right? But it said in the movie that Daniel was from the tribe of Benjamin. But let me just quickly disprove that. This is Daniel chapter 1 and verse 6. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So that's disproved that point there. But one of the things that was good in the movie that I saw, and it was the prophets that it talked about, right? And it made me think of a particular topic on how Yahweh chooses men, right? And how no man has got control over himself, man, right? And just like how Pharaoh was hardened, Cyrus was chosen, all right? Cyrus was chosen to help the Israelites build back up the temple, man. This is Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. Man's goings of Yahweh, how can a man then understand his own way? So no one's able to go outside of anything that Yahweh has planned for that particular man's life. No one can go outside of what Yahweh's got written for him. This is Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11. Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. So no one can go outside of anything that Yahweh's got written for them. And that's the whole reason why there's prophecy in the Bible in the first place. Because these are not a man's prophecies. These are Yahweh's prophecies, right? And within that movie, it showed Cyrus that, like it showed in the movie that Cyrus had a conversation with Daniel, and Daniel showed him pretty much in the Bible where he was written by name, and then it had him all bugged out, like saying it mentions me by name. He was all confounded and bugging out that the scriptures had him written in there, man. This is Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 28. And I'm not saying that that's exactly the way how that came to pass in reality, but for the movie's purpose, to bring out, to show the story, it was all right to do it that way, right? This is Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 28. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. Verse 45 and verse 1. Chapter 45 and verse 1. Thus saith Yahweh to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him with two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. I will go before thee, and make the crooked places straight, and I will break in pieces the gates of brass, and cut in sunder the bars of iron. And I will give these treasures in darkness, and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, Yahweh, which call thee by name, am the God of Israel. For the sake of my servant, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. So he chose Cyrus, even though Cyrus was a heathen. Cyrus didn't know nothing about Yahweh, but Yahweh chose him to make him be the person that was going to cause for that to be written, so that people could know that Yahweh is the power of the heavens, and that Yahweh is in charge of all men. Verse 5. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. So he chose Cyrus, even though Cyrus didn't know anything about Yahweh. He didn't know anything about the Lord's commandments. And that's no different in these times right now. These Edomites, they don't care about Yahweh. But yet Yahweh chose them to have power right now. Isn't that what it says in Revelation 17? Where it says that all the other nations was given into Esau's hand, pretty much. Verse 6. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Yahweh do all these things, right? Yahweh decides what a man's going to do and what a man's not going to do, right? And just like how just like how Cyrus was chosen, Pharaoh was hardened, and now I'm going to show that. Let me show that. A couple of places where it says that Pharaoh's heart was hardened. This is Exodus chapter 7 and verse 13. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuses to let the people go. So that's one instance. Now there's another one in Exodus 9. This is Exodus chapter 9 and verse 7. And Pharaoh sent, and beheld, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead, and the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. So Pharaoh's heart was hardened to not even spot that Yahweh had set a difference between him and between the Israelites, to the point where the Israelites' cattle, none of them died, but several of his cattle was dying, of his people's cattle was dying. Now here's another one. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I might show these signs before him. Now when you go to Exodus 9, and bear with me a second because I haven't went over this for a while. I want to try and remember exactly where it is that it says it, but Yahweh pretty much says that the reason why here we go. Here we go, verse 16. Exodus chapter 9 and verse 16. And in very deed for this cause I have raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. And when you go to Romans the 9th chapter, it speaks on how Yahweh is going to do the same thing again, but with the Edomites. So Pharaoh was hardened, Cyrus was chosen, and Esau's no different. Esau was chosen to be the vessel to cause us, the Israelites, harm right now in these last days. But Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob's gonna be ruling after Esau's long and gone. When these worlds are paradise, when these worlds are new heaven and a new earth. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse. Let me jump to 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness in God? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, meaning we don't get to decide, nor of him that runneth, meaning it doesn't matter about your dedication to trying to get this. If it's not for you, you ain't getting it. But of God that showeth mercy. If God ain't got no mercy for you, you ain't receiving a damn thing, right? For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared for all the earth. Now that was a scripture that I just read a minute ago in Exodus 9 and 16. I'll quote it there for future, right? In Exodus 9 and 16, man. That scripture was put there, and it was done to show that the Pharaoh was hardened to show, so that Yahweh could show how powerful he is. Just like how Esau's been brought up to show how powerful he was. He just for Yahweh to show how powerful he is when he destroys Esau. And Cyrus was chosen and named, and it was written, and his name was put in the prophecy, so that when Cyrus was chosen and he was found out to know about this, right, that no one could doubt that Yahweh chose this, that Yahweh said this was going to happen, because the name of the person that was going to be the ruler was written, and it was men on earth thought that they chose the names of these people and all of that, but then all it did is further prove that Yahweh exists, because really it was of Yahweh's power and not of the power of men. You see, it wasn't a thing of the power of men, man. None of these things that happen on the earth are of the power of men. They're of the power of Yahweh. But people in their foolishness, they think that they've got power themselves, man. But when they end up finding out what Yahweh's power is worth, they end up realizing that they ain't got power in anything, man. They end up realizing that they're weak. And none of these people, if Yahweh's rocking with us, can do anything against us, man. Right? They can't do nothing against us if Yahweh's rocking with us. They ain't got no power to do anything, man. And on that note, I'm gonna end the lesson. Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart and chose Cyrus to help the Israelites build up the kingdom. And Esau's no different. He's gonna destroy Esau, right? And on that note, I'm gonna say Shalom. Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Shalom.